Hey there, this week in the Money Mondays, we're going to talk about people. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what do people have to do with money? Everything. So, in this video, well, before I get started, as you can tell by my background, I'm not in my office as usual. And I'm running a little late. I apologize for that. I had to take a little trip, so I'm on that trip right now, but I have some downtime, so I thought I'd create a video so I can stay on top of these things with you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about um, the people you may need for your business and investing. And remember that business and investing are team sports. They're not individual sports. And the list I'm going to give you of different kind of people that you could probably use is not exhaustive. I mean, I could probably talk for a couple hours about different people you would need depending on the situation. But this is just to give you an idea of the kind of people you can work with that can help you out with your business investing. And all the roles that I talk about may not work for you. They may not fit your method of investing or your business, but it'll give you some ideas of the areas that of help that are available for you. Okay, so what's the first type of person you're going to be dealing with? The first one is what I call a CEE. Now, I'm sure you've heard of CEOs, Chief Executive Officers. You know, they're the people that are at top of a corporation that kind of runs things from the top. Well, a CEE stands for Chief Executive of Everything. You want to meet that person? Look in the mirror. That's who it is. It's you. When you're starting out, you are doing everything. However, you are a limited resource. So if you want to grow and make more money, you can't keep doing it by yourself. You know, it's going to lead to burnout, it can lead to failure, and but definitely you're not going to be able to increase your cash flow. So let's talk about the other people. The first thing I talk about is OPS, and that is a general term for other people's stuff. Now, you can leverage other people's resources to help you expand and increase your cash flow. For example, there are things you're not good at. You know, there's things that you hate to do. These kind of things you can leverage or delegate to other people to do that probably love doing those things and also are very good at it. And they're quicker as well. So anyhow, for things you don't have time for, you know, you're really busy trying to get the business started and you don't have time to be doing cleaning or whatever it is, you need to keep moving forward, all right? Your time is more important than money. Let me reiterate that. Your time is more important than money. You can always get more money. You're not going to get any more time. We all have 24 hours in the day. And guess what? People like Elon Musk only have 24 hours in the day. And look what he's achieved. Did he do it by himself? No. Did he build and design rockets by himself? No. Did he do the cars? No. He had help from other people. Okay? So use your time for higher level activities in your investing, in your business, in your life. Okay, here's another group, OPK, other people's knowledge, okay? One of the first people on the list are mentors. These are people who have done what you're trying to do. They have more experience, they have more knowledge, and if you can work with them, sometimes it's free, sometimes you have to pay for it, just depends on the situation, but they can help you, guide you through how not to fall into the pitfalls that they fell in and also get you there quicker. Whether it's in business, when I worked in aerospace, I never went through a mentor program, but they had those. They would have like higher level managers that would work with the younger, the less experienced, and help them get their way going in the company. Another person is a coach. Now, a coach is someone who can teach you, guide you, train you, a little bit different than a mentor, maybe not someone who's working in the field right now, but has the knowledge of that you need to move forward in whatever field you're in. A trainer. Now, a trainer comes in different forms. A trainer can be a teacher like in a classroom, or can be someone you watch on a YouTube video, or even reading a book about some aspect of investing or business you're interested in, and they will have, in the book they have charts, the whole thing. These are people who can give you knowledge in the areas you need. Some people that are professionals in different areas that can help you out. An accountant, a tax advisor. Okay, now taxes, it's a 4-letter word, right? Well, here's the thing, is that tax advisors and accountants can help you do the things you need to do to stay out of trouble. And also, the tax laws from state to state are different, and they change over time, okay? I mean, there's some things, some gotchas I had over the years with taxes because I didn't realize it changed. And also, a lot of times tax laws are made not necessarily to trip you up, but also to help guide you in areas that the government, the legislators, think there's a need for. And you may get like, say for instance with solar. I mean, there's tax incentives for things like that. You may, when you buy solar, you get to write it off at the end of the year, whatever. But anyhow, these are people that study this stuff all the time, and you don't have to. Of course, it's going to cost you some money, but the thing is, in the long run, you're going to have more time and stay out of trouble when it comes to that. Another one is lawyers, okay? Why do we need lawyers? Because people are people, okay? You may need lawyers for doing things like contracts, whether it's a purchase and sale agreement for a large apartment complex, if it's for rental, lease agreements, things like that. Or you may have issues to where you have to evict somebody or you have to foreclose on a property, whatever. Get the people that know what they're doing involved. Yes, it's going to cost you something, but the thing is, think about what it's going to cost you if you're trying to do it yourself and you don't know what you're doing. So you need other people's knowledge to help you along. Okay, here's another one, what I call OPT, other people's time, and this is about delegation. When I talked about before, for things like you don't do very well, you don't have time for, things you really don't like to do because it has to be done, but you'd rather have that time for something else. Number one is a bookkeeper, okay? Someone who's tracking your income, your expenses, things like that, getting into a spreadsheet or in software or whatever mode that they use so they can keep track of where your money's going. Same thing if you're in real estate, sometimes you don't need a full-fledged plumber or an electrician. There's some simple things you can have other people do. So say, for instance, you're renting out a house and there's a drippy faucet. All it needs is a washer. You don't need to pay someone who comes out who's, very knowledgeable about plumbing. That's going to cost, top dollar. Handyman can do it, and they may be in the neighborhood. You can just call them up and say, "Hey, Bob, go over there and fix that leaky faucet." Or there's a switch that's in the house that is starting to wear and it's needs to be replaced. Handyman can do that. Now that also can be a handy woman, okay? There's no gender associated with that, but that's what they're called in general. Also, as you're expanding your business, say if you have a restaurant, say if you have a little computer fix-it shop, whatever, it's growing, you need some help, you can always hire somebody, but you need to learn about how to do that in your state. So employees also, there's companies like with the lawyer and the like, that they are what they call an LPC, LPP. I can't remember what it's called, but anyhow, they're incorporated in some way, and so they're a company. So you can hire contractors and businesses that can help you with things. So it's like having an employee, but you're not paying them directly. You're paying the company. So other people's time, delegate that out when you can. Work on the things that are important for you, getting your business set up, getting your investments going. You got to have to get to the point where you're not worrying about every little I that's dotted and T that's crossed, the waste, the trash getting picked up, things like that. You can do it, but you're not going to grow. Okay, here's another one. OPP or OPB, other people's properties and other people's businesses or deals. This is a kind of what they call private lending. You could take some cash that you have, some cash that you have on hand and help other people out, say purchase property, somehow finance a deal to get them over the hump, or starting a business or expanding their business. Now, again, we go back to the lawyers, because we want everything above board and legal, and we don't want to have, be screwing each other out on these things. But this is ways that you can help other people out, put money into their business, and either you get some part of the profits that are coming out or interest on it, depending how it's set up. Another thing is partnerships and equity sharing. Again, if you're going to buy into a business or an apartment complex with somebody, it could be a 60-40 split, whatever it is. It's all sorts of different variables you can do. But, unlike the first thing I was talking about, which is basically your lending, so it's like a mortgage. You got, the principal that you give them plus interest on a regular basis. So it's a loan, basically. Partnerships and equity are like being part of the game, okay? For good and bad, you're part of that business, part of that investment. So say if it's an apartment house and so what happens when you have a rental property is after expenses, whatever it is to run that property, the rent that comes in, what's left over, that is the profits, and you get that. You share that with other folks that are involved. So that's more of an equity. So you own part of the property. It's ownership. What's an example? When you own stocks are equity. You buy a piece of that business. And then when you're doing bonds, that's debt. You're giving them money and coming back. I mean, in a way, it all sounds like it's the same, but it's handled a little bit differently. So partnerships and equity sharing, you're buying into the property or into the business. Associated with that is one of my favorite subjects. It's called OPM, other people's money. This is private lending. So say, for instance, you are going to buy a piece of real estate or a deal or a business, and you look for somebody who does financing like that. I mean, there's a lot of them. They're everywhere. This isn't like a rare instance. So say if I'm going to buy an investment piece of property, instead of using the bank, by the way, you don't always have to use a bank. It's still legal. I don't want you thinking like, oh, this sounds kind of shaky. This is something you need to investigate if you're ever thinking about this. There's people that actually teach this stuff. And again, you'd find a real estate lawyer or whatever if you wanted to draw up some documents to make this work. But anyhow, you take some cash that you have sitting in the bank doing nothing, and someone wants to buy, well, let me back up. This is going into your deals. And so you have a friend or a business partner or associate that has some cash. You can have them help you out buying that property. And again, it's not equity. They're not owning it. They don't have control over it. They're lending you money. So what's coming back their way every month or every quarter or however you got it set up, they will be getting interest on that. That's how they make their money. And it's secured by real estate, which makes them more comfortable, more likely to do it. So again, you don't always have to use a bank. Now, this is a little more advanced, but what's really cool about this is if this is the method you're doing your business as, say, investing in real estate, and you got a lot of properties, and you've had them for a while, they've matured, the equity is increased because you're paying off your loans, and also the value of the properties going up, either by inflation, like, just how things have been happening lately. Their real estate, what used to be a $500,000 house is now $1 million house. Nothing's changed, but just that's the market. The market can raise the price or the value, or you fix it up somehow so it has more value. Is that these people that you work with in doing private lending, they may come back to you at a later time and say, hey, I've got this extra cash here. It's sitting in the bank. It's not making any interest for me. Do you have anywhere you can place this for me so that I can make more income? And so some of your properties will have more equity. Equity is the difference between the value of the property minus what you owe on it, That difference is the equity. So if you've got some equity left in a property, you can set it up so that they will give that to you as a loan. And now they're making money from you every month. And that money, where does it go? It can go in your pocket, tax-free, or you can use it for other things that you need to do. Say if you need to do some repairs or whatever. But anyhow, that's how you get an influx of cash. Now, I'm not telling you how to do this. These are things you can look up, and there's a lot of people that teach this stuff. Now, why am I telling you these things about people? Is that these are topics, OPM, things like that, delegating, equity partnerships, that comes up in things like the Cash Flow 101 game, which I'm going to, start adding in as we're going down this path here, and in business and in your investing training. You look into this stuff and you start taking some investing training or any kind of business and investments, you'll start seeing things like OPM and partnerships and things like that coming up. Now you have a little bit better idea of what that means. So anyhow, that's a wrap for this week. Sorry I didn't get it out sooner. Like I said, I've been on the road. It's kind of hard to drive and do videos at the same time. I guess some people do it. But anyhow, the other thing is my mantra: do your own homework. Okay? If you're interested in any of these different sections, get a book, take a class, sign up for a program, research, online to see what, there's more information about it. Anything that I'm bringing up in these videos, there's always the next level of information or knowledge you can get. So anyhow, that's it for this week. Until next week, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.